In today's video, we're going to talk about one of the most critical aspects of a construction project, which is project closeout. We're going to cover key milestones, responsibilities, and just general items to track during the process to make it as successful as possible. So let's go. All right, so to understand project closeout, we're actually going to start by understanding substantial completion. Now, in commercial construction, AIA contracts define substantial completion as the point where the project is sufficiently complete according to the contract documents so that the owner can occupy and utilize the space for its intended use. So substantial completion is one of our last scheduled milestones on a project. Now, we'll revisit schedule in just a minute, such as when to start the closeout process as it relates to substantial completion. But for now, let's talk about what project closeout entails. In order to do this, we're going to take a closer look at the closeout process within three categories, with number one being owner occupancy, number two being the closeout package, and finally number three, the financial and administrative closeout portion of the process. So our first category is owner occupancy, which is the entire purpose of the project. In order for the owner to legally be permitted to use their building, the contractor needs to receive the certificate of occupancy. In order to receive the certificate of occupancy, we need to accomplish a handful of items. These items would include 1. Completing the open punch list items. 2. Completing final test and balance reports of mechanical systems, which would also include system startups and control integration. 3. Calling for all final inspections and receiving approvals. And then 4. Receiving a certificate of substantial completion from the architect. Now, every jurisdiction is different and their requirements are different, but in many jurisdictions, in order to request a final occupancy permit, you're required to provide a certificate of substantial completion, which is a signed and certified document by the architect, and sometimes there's a similar form required by the mechanical engineer. Now, architects will require terms specified in the AIA contract be met by the contractor prior to signing this, such as completing the open punch list as I just mentioned. The mechanical engineer will typically require the final test and balance reports, and upon reviewing those reports, they'll sign their end of the document as well. So once you have all of these items completed, you'll submit these formally and any other applicable requirements to the local AHJ, at which point they should release the certificate of occupancy. Next, we have the actual closeout package, which are a series of documents, files, and materials that we'll hand over to the owner at the end of the project. This closeout package would include the following. Number 1, O&Ms or operation and maintenance manuals. Now, O&Ms are physical manuals of how to actually run and maintain different equipment and materials within the building. The general contractor will compile all these from all the other contractors and any of the self-perform work that they'll be completing and turn them over to the owner so that they have this information to run their buildings. The requirements for O&M submission would be found in the specifications. Number 2, standard warranties. Now, most general contractors and construction managers will include either a 1-year or a 2-year warranty for workmanship and materials to the owner, which typically starts from the date of substantial completion. So the general contractor will compile letters from all the individual subcontractors and write their own letters for any self-perform work, recapping the extent of the warranty, the start date, and the duration, and turn this over to the owner. These would be established in either the contract and sometimes the specifications. Number 3, special warranties. Now, this is similar to standard warranties, however, sometimes the architect or the engineers will include extended warranties on specific products. Some common examples are your roof, which can carry warranty periods of up to 20 to 30 years. Also, equipment such as boilers and chillers could be closer to 5 or 10-year warranty periods, much greater than the typical 1 to 2 year standard warranty. Now, these requirements and these special warranties would also be found in your specifications. Number 4, attic stock or extra material. So attic stock is a certain percentage of material that is to be provided to the owner so that the maintenance staff can pull from it and utilize it. Examples are paint, flooring, ceiling tiles, etc. These are all commonly installed materials that may receive accidental damage from normal occupancy, and having these on hand just makes for the maintenance process to be that much easier. Other attic stock items could include filters for mechanical equipment. Now, the general contractor should track receipt of the attic stock from the contractors and track the delivery over to the owner and have that nice handoff with some sort of signature or acknowledgement. Now, the requirements for attic stock or extra material would also be found in your specifications. Number 5, as-built drawings. So the architect and engineers provide a set of construction drawings, but oftentimes these are not fully coordinated, such as your overhead MEP trades. So as-built drawings are produced by the contractors who are field installing and potentially field modifying or deviate from the construction documents, such as for minor field coordination purposes. These are also referred to as red line drawings. So at the end of the project, the contractor will take a set of construction documents and redline or mark up with a red pen or digitally where they had those deviations or minor coordination adjustments. Number 6, owner training. Now, many projects involve new systems, so the owner training is often required to get the owner's maintenance staff up to speed. Even if it's not a requirement, it's a highly suggested process at the end of a project, just so that the maintenance team isn't having callbacks for just standard operating procedures. It's usually a certain amount of hours though, specified per piece of equipment or system, mostly specific to MEP trades as they have specialty equipment being installed on the project. The requirements for owner training would also be found in your specifications. Number 7, the keys to the castle. Pretty straightforward. The owner needs their set of keys to enter the building, so there's just got to be a handoff of these. Number 8, the contact list for warranty items. So a contact list is provided to the owner and to the maintenance team in the event of a callback or a warranty item arises. Whether it's a single point of contact or a point of contact for each trade, this just helps with the general tracking and follow-up in that warranty phase of the project. Number 9, certificate of occupancy and any other applicable certificates or documentation. So we'll take these and all the other items I previously mentioned, convert them to a PDF format typically, combine them and transfer them over to the ownership team so that they can easily search through these documents to maintain their building and understand what was just installed throughout this project. And finally, we have financial and administrative closeout, which would include the following. Number 1, reconciling all contracts, collecting final lien waivers, and submitting that final payment application to the owner, along with releasing any retainage held to the subcontractors who installed the work. Number 2, establishing a date and time for a follow-up warranty walk prior to the warranty period ending so that the construction and ownership team have a final opportunity to review any open issues. And last, number 3, would be transferring or ending any applicable insurance coverage. This depends on who carried the insurance throughout the project, but is important to note so that there is no lapse in insurance coverage if it does need to be extended. So lastly, the most important thing I want to cover is the schedule and timing of all these things we just talked about. Now, you don't want to hit your substantial completion date and then start thinking about your closeout plan because that is way too late in the game. You want to time your closeout plan so that all these items are wrapping up at the same time or very near after your substantial completion date. So your owner occupancy requirements should all clearly be noted in your project schedule from day one pretty much, with milestone dates such as your final inspection dates, your punch list completion dates, etc. Depending on the size of the project, this can be upwards of a 2 or 3 month process prior to your substantial completion date. As for the closeout package, start this 50% through the project. You won't be able to consolidate all items such as as-built or owner training that early, but you can start collecting O&Ms and warranties to get a jump start on this process. Lastly, financial closeout. Now, you should be keeping up with this on a monthly basis as is, but really just focus on communication as you approach the finish line so everyone's on the same page. All right, we are done with this video. If you have questions, let me know in the comments below. And as always, be better, build better, and bye for now.